Hey, this is Josh from Streamline Retail. Happy New Year. I am super excited for all that is to come in 2019. I hope that this is the best year that you've ever had for your business. Every year, honestly, this is one of those times of year that as a retailer, you have to start doing some things that we're not exactly excited about. And the biggest of those is an inventory count. It can be one of those things that's hard to stay motivated and remember that it needs to be done. But at the end of the day, understanding what you have is so important for your business. Your inventory is your biggest asset. It's the way that you make your money. And not having a clear understanding of exactly what you have on hand can be detrimental to your business. It's so important to do this count, not to mention the tax implications of not having that. This is a side note, you can reach out to your accountant and ask them, but if you aren't counting, you're probably paying more in taxes than you need to. If that's enough motivation, then hopefully you can probably just forward this video a little bit to when I actually give some tips. So if you aren't doing a count, if you don't plan on it, you should. Normally you're gonna wanna do that within the first to second week of the year, if not the last week of the year. So hopefully you've already done one, but if not, I wanna talk about how to make the most of it. First, if possible, I highly recommend that you close your store. Bring in your top employees or your husband, your wife, your best friend, whoever is willing to come, and you close your store. Even if you do this overnight or you close a little bit earlier, you open late, try to do this when the store is closed. It can be hard to do these counts when you have customers walking around and you're selling things that you just counted. It's much easier to take care of it in one swoop. So what I recommend is have 3 to 4 people, depending on the size of your store. Maybe 2 people is plenty if you have a really small store, and maybe you need 10 people if you have a massive store. But try to have as many hands on deck as you can to create this count. When you do that, make it fun. Have drinks, honestly, buy beer or champagne or whatever and order pizzas. Make it a fun event. Don't make it something that's so boring, because look, no one loves walking around scanning barcodes. So make it fun, bring in everyone that you can. Next is you wanna plan out your store. So, if you split your store up into 4 groups and you say, hey, you take these sections, this section, and split the counts up. That way, you're not walking around having to wonder about what someone else did. And then as you do this, have sticky notes that you give each of your staff members, and when they count a rack, have them put a sticky note on that rack. When you're done, you can then go through and remove all of them. But that way, everything is accounted for. Another great thing that you can do is, rather than worry about problematic items, you or someone else that you really trust, when someone's counting and they run into an item that there's a problem, rather than worry about that right then, take it out or set it aside. You worry about that on your own. Even if that's something that you do at the end of your count when everyone else can go home, you can go through the 20 problematic items that you have, whether it's a barcode that didn't scan or whatever. Which I guess brings us to the last thing, and that is making sure that you have enough hardware. I know scanners can be a little bit expensive. If you don't have one for your store, I highly recommend it. I love the Honeywell 1200G, something like that, the Voyager. You can find it on Amazon. We'll put a link below. It's great. But there are cheaper options that are 40, 50 bucks that I wouldn't use in your store. They're not the best scanners, but they will work for a count. By having 3 or 4 of these, 3 or 4 extra, you're able to make sure that you have plenty of hands to count through all of your merchandise. And I guess the overarching piece to all of this, if you don't have a system that makes this easy, if you're printing out an item list and manually counting, because that's the only way to do it, really, you might want to evaluate what tools you're using going into 2019. Whether it's adopting a new POS system that has an inventory count feature, or learning the right ways to use the tools that you already have in place. And maybe that spreadsheet isn't the best thing to do, but actually doing a proper inventory count in your POS. This isn't the most fun topic in the world, but inventory counts are huge. And what it can do is give you a clear understanding of your inventory that you can then turn into plans for the rest of the year. When you have a clear grasp of what you have, and then you're able to forecast where you're headed, that's really the beginning of inventory planning. So this stuff that's not fun at all really is what lets you do the things that you're good at, which is creating an awesome retail experience and engaging your customers. I hope that this has been informative. We have so much cool stuff headed your way in 2019, from some webinar series to help you get the most out of your tools and your POS, to new content on our website, to our podcasts. You name it, we have so much in store. So if you haven't subscribed, I highly recommend that you do. Also, if you haven't liked us on Facebook, definitely go do that. We'll be posting a lot of our stuff there. All of this will be linked below. We look forward to working with you or talking with you in 2019. Again, Happy New Year and enjoy your count. If you need help with the beer when it's done, feel free to give me a call. So we'll talk soon. Have a good one.